Hello my people, my Naija people. I don welcome una again today o. My name na Naija Scope Media. Abeg as una come o, make una subscribe, like my video, as God go bless una as una do am. Today I bring una very big sad news wey waka enter Naija football world. Two of our legends wey kpai the same day. Their name be former Super Eagles captain and coach Christian Chukwu, wey dem sabi as chairman, and another ex-national team player Bassey don kpai the same day on top of April 12, 2025. Christian Chukwu no be ordinary player, as we all know. Na him lead Nigeria carry our first AFCON trophy for 1980, and later him become the national team coach. Him life na example of leadership, discipline and love for the game. Bassey himself, even though him name no loud like Chukwu own, still play big role for Naija football during the 70s and 80s. People wey sabi am ball say that time you say the guy no dey carry last when him dey for field of football. Na legend Segun Odegbami wey play with dem, two of dem, break the news as him talk say you fit feel the pain inside his voice. Him say the two of dem wey kpai say today na the saddest day for Nigerian football history. The achievements and wetin dem mean to millions of ball lovers across the world. We dey say make dem rest in peace. Our legends, we go remember una forever. Abeg make una sit back now watch this video. God bless you.
Two members of the legendary Nigerian Green Eagles African Cup of Nations winning team of 1980, Chukwu Bassey, and captain of the team, Christian Chukwu, both died on the same day, Saturday, April 12, 2025. While Bassey passed on at the age of 71, Christian Chukwu was popularly known as chairman, and who later coached the Super Eagles, died at the age of 74. His longtime teammate and friend, Segun Odegbami, MON, who confirmed the news on social media, described him as one of the greatest football players in Nigeria's football history. Arise News correspondent Aaron Akrejola has more in this report.
Today, we mourn the loss of a true legend of Nigerian football. Christian Chukwu, a name synonymous with greatness, has passed on. Known as the chairman, his legacy as a player, coach, and mentor to generations of footballers will remain etched in the annals of our nation's history. Let's take a look back at the remarkable life of Christian Chukwu. Christian Chukwu's journey to greatness began on the football pitch. Born on the 4th of January 1951 in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, Chukwu rose to prominence in the 1970s. He captained the Nigerian national team, the Green Eagles, to their historic first Africa Cup of Nations title in 1980.
Well, I feel fulfilled, that it was in my time that we are getting this cup for the first time. One thing in life, first thing always lasts forever. It doesn't matter, the second ones are good too, third, fourth, but that first time, you always come back to say, who are the people that brought this cup for the first time?
A commanding defender, his leadership and skills made him a national hero and earned him the name the chairman. After his illustrious playing career, Christian Chukwu transitioned seamlessly into coaching. He managed various clubs, including the Enugu Rangers, where he first made his name as a player. As head coach of the Super Eagles, Chukwu led the team to the semi-finals of the 2004 Africa Cup of Nations. Though his tenure faced challenges, his passion for Nigerian football never wavered. In his later years, Christian Chukwu faced a difficult battle with illness. Diagnosed with prostate cancer, he received support from the Nigerian football community and philanthropists, including Femi Otedola, who funded his medical treatment abroad in 2019. Despite these challenges, Christian Chukwu remained a symbol of resilience and inspiration. Christian Chukwu's story is one of triumph, resilience, and a deep love for the beautiful game. From captaining Nigeria to glory to mentoring the next generation, his impact will be felt for years to come. As Nigeria mourns, we also celebrate the incredible life of the man we proudly called the chairman. Rest in peace, Christian Chukwu.
Well, the mathematical Segun Odegbami, Chief Segun Odegbami, MON, the man who rendered a glowing tribute to his friend and Nigeria's first Cup of Nations captain, Christian Chukwu, joins me now on This Day Live. Commiserations, Chief, and welcome to This Day Live. I saw the statement you put out on the demise of your friend and colleague, Chairman Christian Chukwu. What kind of man was he? You were his vice captain of the 1980 winning Green Eagles team. What are your recollections?
Yes, yes, because I can barely hear you, so let me seize the opportunity to just say a few words. Probably we cannot, communicate properly because of the sound here. We are at the National Stadium. But we're speaking about Christian Chukwu. Yes, he was my captain. I was his vice. And I will just sum it up this way. He was a very simple, very humble, but very dedicated leader. Probably the most accomplished football player in the history of this country. And his influence and contributions to Nigeria as a country are unprecedented. Recall where he started after the Civil War in 1970 and what he did to bridge the gap of divisions in Nigeria. They started to heal the wounds, the injuries of that war, which divided the country, which made a side a defeated army. He came out of that background to bring forth the Igbo into the mainstream, of life in Nigeria. And within 4 years, he had succeeded with his team to eliminate the thoughts of that war from the minds of Nigerians. He was the healing balm. He led that team that was the healing balm of that very bad civil war, that ended in 1970. So Christian's contributions, even at that level, are unprecedented. Then beyond that, he led the national team to our first bronze medal, second bronze medal at Africa Cup of Nations, and to the Olympic Games for the first time. We won the ECOWAS Cup for the first time. We won silver at the All Africa Games in Algiers, and then we won the 1980 Cup of Nations. And he was the best player, the most valuable player of that entire championship. So what do we say about his playing career? He won virtually everything there was to win at that time, including the Cup Winners' Cup that he led Rangers to win in 1977. And beyond that, he became a coach. He was part of the coaching crew that brought Nigeria her first World Cup in 1985 with Sebastian Broderick. When Nigeria qualified for the World Cup in 1994, he was also there. I was there as team manager. He was the assistant coach to Westerhoff. He took the Nigerian team to the World Cup. He was one of the first Nigerians to coach outside Nigeria. He coached the national team of Kenya. The only person before him was Laloku, who was on his secondment to Gambia. So Christian Chukwu, in terms of the football that he played, in terms of the football that he coached, and in terms of his person and personality, his leadership qualities, I don't think there's any Nigerian, dead or alive, that compares with Christian Chukwu. He has left an indelible mark in the history of this country, and he must be remembered, he must be celebrated for those things.
Okay, Chief, one other thing. 1980 Green Eagles, on the same day, on Saturday, after the death of Chairman Chukwu in Enugu, there was also another death in Eket of Charles Bassey. Charles Bassey was also your colleague. He died at 71. Do you remember him?
Well, you see, unfortunately, Charles Bassey died 3 hours after Christian died yesterday. And whilst we were still mourning and lamenting the passage of our captain, our leader, the news came that Charles Bassey had also died, and it became subsumed in Chukwu's lamentation, in the lamentation over Chukwu. So we couldn't now come again and start to, talk about Charles Bassey. It would appear as if we were harbingers of bad news. But it happened 3 hours after Chukwu died. Charles Bassey, who was also down, he was at home, he died at home actually, was rushed to the hospital and he died. These are players that have been suffering. I was describing to the Sultan of Sokoto a few days ago when he asked me about Chukwu and Okala and the rest of them. I told them that, look, even Okala, who is in Enugu now, for Okala to look at you and see you, he has to open his eyes with his eyelids with his hand. He will open it like this to see. As soon as he finishes and he lifts it, the eyes will be shut again. That's Okala's state. And they are not, they are not the only ones. So many of us are in that state. We need to do something. 7 have gone now out of that group of 22. 7 have gone. And even those of us who are alive by the grace of God, it is not as if things are easier for us. I was calculating, for example, how much money I earned through the 10 years that I was in the national team of Nigeria. Through the 10 years. It is like the salary of one player in 1 month. 10 years. So what was the money to go and invest and do anything to take us through what we are going through now in old age? So something must be done. And this is just a reminder of our mortality, that one by one we will go. But as before we even go, let the country do some things to alleviate what we are going through, because truly we are going through a lot. We didn't earn anything in those days for us to be able to take care of us for the rest of our days.
Okay. Chief Odegbami, that brings me to the point made by Justice Adoke Amesimeka, who has accused the Nigerian Football Federation of hypocrisy. One of the newspapers today says, why is the NFF saying they are mourning the passing of Christian Chukwu when the same NFF is owing him over $120,000? He was coach of the Green Eagles. He was not paid. And then in the case of Charles Bassey, Akwa Ibom state government promised to take care of him. They abandoned him. It was Femi Otedola, the billionaire philanthropist, who helped Christian Chukwu, who helped Charles Bassey. So these people who have served Nigeria, they are at the mercy of philanthropists. What do you think we can do about this? And do you agree with Amesimeka that NFF is just being hypocritical, that they should save their condolence message?
Well, when Adoke speaks, then the rest of us cannot say anything contrary to what he says. So we side with him 100%. But having said that, the reality is that, look, Christian Chukwu had been unwell for some time. And I know that he didn't want us to come out again into the public and start to appeal for people to come and help and do this and do that. And I remember the last words, my last conversation with Charles Bassey. He was saying that, please help me appeal to the public to come to my aid. I need money to do this, to take care of my health, to do this. But you see, we are now, I go out now and I'm looking like a beggar. I'm asking people to come and do this, do that, to come and help our players, when we have institutions that should be responsible to take care of these people that we are not taking care of before. We depend on people like Allen Onyema, who went 46 years to recall what we did in 1976, to come and start to celebrate and reward us. It took an Allen Onyema to do that. Now, who is there but the Nigeria Football Federation? Well, we have people there who maybe do not know the history, the full history of football in this country, the contributions made by people. They cannot add it up to know that it is not financial. It is our genuine contribution, adding value to something that projects our image and our name and the flag of our country and stuff like that. And we didn't earn anything. We didn't earn anything. Everything I earned in 10 years is equivalent to what one player earns in 1 month.
Okay, Chief.
So something needs to be done. Adoke has spoken and we side with him 100%.
But Chief, there's something these days they talk about financial intelligence. Do you think that also your generation didn't know anything about financial planning, financial intelligence, and many of your colleagues didn't plan ahead, and hence now in your 70s you have to be waiting for...
Ruben, what are you talking? Financial what? With what? With what? I was a civil servant and I was one of the most highly paid. I was a civil servant. How much was a civil servant earning? We were not earning anything from playing the game, representing our country. We were earning bonuses. At the time we finished, the highest we ever got was 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira when we finished. That was the highest we got. Is that money that you set aside to come and invest in your future? Except those who were lucky and had a good education and had another profession who could fall into it. People like Frank Nwachi, he didn't suffer. People like Patrick Ekeji, he didn't suffer. Adoke did very well for himself because they were the lucky ones who had both education and the football. But for those who did not have, who spent their youth playing for the country, Muda Lawal, Rashidi Yekini, these were great heroes of this country. And they sacrificed their youth playing the game. You see, nobody told us. No, if people had told us about the injuries, the consequences of the injuries that we were sustaining at that time, that it would end up in a Chukwu at 70 becoming crippled. Adoke had to go overseas to spend 50,000 naira to fix his waist. They had to do surgery for Kadiri Kana 3 times. Philanthropy is a philanthropic hospital, did his own surgery. Okala is down. Shefiu Mohammed is down. Moses Charles just died. Moses Effiong just died earlier this year. It just goes on and on. Muda died in his 30s. Tunde Bamidele died also. So these are the reality of things. You know, beyond the theory that, why didn't you invest? Why didn't you plan? Why didn't you do that? Who will plan? With what will you plan? With what? I own one piece of land in this, maybe this is the opportunity to say it, one piece of land, that's all I own, one piece of land in Magodo. I've been looking for the C of O for how many years now? 34 years. 34 years to get the CFO of a land I bought that is still there up to today. I cannot get it. They are not helping anybody. They are not helping us. Okay. With all my influence, with all my connections, I know everybody, I know one piece of land in Magodo, I cannot get the CFO.
Okay, Chief.
Anyway, Ruben,
Chief,
I thank you very much.
As I begin to summarize, just 2 more questions. I know you have another event there at the National Stadium. Quickly.
No, you said you said it that is like we don't plan for the future. I plan for the future. I bought my land in Magodo. I bought my land there. Okay. They cannot help me to get the CFO. Okay, so what are we talking about? Okay, that's planning now.
Okay, Chief. Let me ask you. You were part of a panel that was set up, I think, when Sunday Dare was Minister of Sports. And the whole issue was about a 10-year development plan for football and sports in Nigeria. And the welfare of athletes and everybody else was part of it. What happened to that 10-year development plan?
I've been part of different committees and panels and so on and so forth since 1991. I've been part of too many things that we sit, we come up with all manner of strategies, we come up with plans, recommendations, none of them. When the Sunday Dare panel came up, the 10 years thing came up, Adoke, we said he was not going to go in because nothing would come out of it. And they convinced me to come and join. And I joined, and that's exactly what has been happening, is what has happened to it now. Where is it? It doesn't even exist. They are even saying, engage the players. Find space for the players on the board of the Nigeria Football Federation. This was a directive of the president of this country. that they stopped elections to say involve the players, create a room for them, not even create, it is in the constitution, but up till today they won't give players that spot where they can go and air their views and make their contributions. So those directives from the president are being flouted, not to talk of ordinary people sitting over a panel and coming up with recommendations that will just end up in somebody's drawer and nothing will happen. It is frustrating. It is frustrating, to say the least.
Well, Chief, I understand how you feel. Our condolences. But final question. You are at the National Stadium for an event, the African Women's Volleyball Championship, being attended by about 17 countries from across Africa. If you could just talk to us about that particular event as we begin to wrap up.
Well, I didn't hear that question, but yes, I'm at the National Stadium, MK Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, and it is the finals of the African Women's Volleyball Club Championship. And there are 17 clubs participating. It's been wonderful. It's been one whole week of terrific volleyball, and we saw an organization that was near perfect. You know, I don't know how it was done, but we must commend the Controller General of Customs, who is driving this with the Volleyball Federation, and of course the National Sports Commission that are here is their premises, for a great organization. All the visitors that came have thoroughly enjoyed themselves, and tonight is the climax. It's been wonderful just coming here to watch the quality of volleyball, the organization of it, the environment, and so on and so forth. So it's been truly terrific, to say the least. I hope this will be like a model. It started with the African Military Games. We saw great improvements in the facilities, you know, here at the stadium, and this one has just added to that. You know, the involvement of stakeholders, the private sector, you know, organizations such as customs and so on and so forth, has truly helped to revive and to restore some of the facilities that had gone to decay before now. So it's wonderful here. All those who are in Abuja, if you are not here, you are missing something terrific. I'm going back inside to continue the game.
Okay, on that note, I'd like to thank you very much, Chief Segun Odegbami, MON.
Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or video requests. See you in the next one. Stay awesome.